Well, now that spring is here, I've run out of excuses to keep avoiding all the yard work that keeps piling up around the house, pulling weeds and mowing and all that stuff. It's been kind of rainy and stuff. In fact, it's kind of rainy today as I'm recording this, and cold and chilly. So, I do things inside. So I suppose I should get out. I do ski every weekend, but that's winding down. So I'm running out of that excuse as well on weekends. Hey, it's Tim Patterson. This is Trade Show Guy Monday Morning Coffee. Last one of the month of March. Yeah, we've stumbled into spring of 2021. Welcome to it. It's so nice to have you watching this. Yes, you can find us at tradeshowguy.net. That's kind of the overall hub site of all the things we do. If you like what you hear here on this particular show, please leave a review at Apple Podcasts. We're also on SoundCloud. And, of course, the video is put up at our Trade Show Marketing YouTube channel. So it's all there. And we'd appreciate any, pats on the back that we can get. So thank you so much. Hey, this week I got a fun interview. Jeff Quade is the executive vice president for GES in Las Vegas. GES does a lot of shows, an official show contractor for so many things. They do so much more. And I know that a lot of people that I talk with, clients and prospects and things like that, aren't really clear on exactly what GES does or doesn't do. So I thought, let's get one of these guys from GES, and Jeff was very kind to do this. And we talked about what's going on with GES. And I think the first thing, since they're in Las Vegas and shows are slowly coming back, is what's going on with shows in Vegas. Fun conversation. Hope you enjoy it. I want to welcome Jeff Quade, who is the Executive Vice President of Exhibitions for GES, to the show, Trade Show Guy Monday Morning Coffee. Jeff, it's great to see you. I appreciate you spending some time. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, so you're in Las Vegas, and I know GES obviously very involved in shows down there. Tell me what the scene is like. I've heard some things about shows opening up. So what's the latest, I guess?
Yeah,
the last week of March for beginning of April.
Yeah, Las Vegas is opening up. The current size restrictions has been elevated to 50% capacity, and I think as we go throughout the year, you'll see that restriction get elevated even further. So certainly, I think the industry is anxious to return to live events in Las Vegas and in other parts of the U.S. And we're certainly here to support organizers of events and accomplishing their business goals.
Yeah, and I know that GES has obviously been involved in shows all around the country. I don't know, are you an international company? Is it just the U.S.?
No, we're an international company. So we operate in the United States and Canada, in Great Britain, and in Europe, and then also the Middle East and Abu Dhabi and Dubai.
That sounds great. You guys have your fingers in a lot of things around the world. And now the really purpose of this interview is kind of to get the sense to, I know a lot of people that I speak with, the clients, really don't have a great sense of all the things an official show contractor does. So maybe let's start there. What is GES and what do you actually do?
Yeah, we're an experiential marketing services company, and we're here to assist corporations, facilities, organizers of shows and events with their live production needs. And our services range from audiovisual services, exhibit program management, event management, hotel accommodations, and serving as the official contractor to associations and for-profit companies that plan and produce exhibitions.
So let's say I come down, I've got a client at a show in Las Vegas. I'm just going to pull one out of the air, National Association of Broadcasters. I don't know if you guys are the official show contractor of that, but let's say you are, and the company I work with has to deal with you guys on some basis. What does that typically entail? Do they hire you guys to set that booth up, or how's that work?
Yeah, the official contractor is appointed by the show organizer to, safely coordinate the installation and dismantling of the show within the schedule that's been contracted by the organizer. And in North America, the organizer also appoints the contractor to be the exclusive supplier of certain services and the official supplier of other services. So those exclusive services could be material handling, electrical, cleaning, overhead rigging, and those appointed services could be furniture rental, flooring, installation, dismantle, labor. Those are all elective services that the exhibitor can choose to partake in with the official contractor.
But if they decide, they can elect to bring in a third party, and you guys coordinate with third parties, or at least they kind of get the blessing, I guess, from the show organizers or from you guys. How does that particular angle work?
We do. We work with corporations directly. We work with their exhibit appointed contractors. We work with third party display houses. And again, we're responsible for the care and custody of the overall event and ensuring that it can safely move in and out on the contracted schedule that the organizer has contracted.
And I still know that when I have a client that I know that you guys are the official contractor, for example, Natural Products Expo West down in Anaheim, I still, even though that the client I have has a shipper they're working with, they have a I&D company they're working with, there still is an interface there between whether it's me or whether it's the client on arranging, making sure that the shipper knows when to come in and all that. So there's a lot of coordination that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people just don't see it. Would that be a good assumption?
Yeah, you're correct, Tim. I mean, we have several different ways that we engage with companies that exhibit at shows. We have dedicated account teams to help corporations strategize and plan and execute their exhibit programs. But for clients that are managed by EACs or third-party builders or independent marketing agencies, we coordinate those activities too, and we provide information on our services and information about the show online. And we operate a customer care center where questions about exhibiting at the particular show can be asked and answered.
So let's say there's an exhibitor that's brand new to the world of exhibiting, and they've been tasked. They say, you're now the trade show manager. Actually, I've run into that a number of times. And so they have to deal with all this. What's the first thing that you would like them to know when it comes to going to a show and dealing with an officially appointed exhibit contractor?
I think the first thing is that official service contractor is appointed by the show organizer to safely coordinate the installation, dismantling of the show within the schedule, and that they've been there, and then certain services are exclusive and need to be provided by the contractor, and certain services are elective. And I think the other thing that I would ask Tim is that, I use the term official contractor and not general.
Right.
General has long been used to describe the service that we provide to manage shows, but the term is really misleading. When you think of a general contractor, you might think of a home that you built or an office building that you built where you interacted with just one company that provided all the services. And our relationship is rarely, in that form and fashion. We provide only the services that we are appointed by the organizer of the show. And those services can vary from city to city and facility to facility.
Interesting. So it depends on the contract that organizer makes with you and with facility to how far your reach really is, it sounds like.
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay. What does GES not do? Kind of leads to the next question that some exhibitors might think you do. And again, I guess learning what you just mentioned in the last question, that may change from venue to venue. How can they find that out? And what do you guys typically not do?
We typically are not responsible for the marketing or attendance acquisition, or getting people to attend the show. We typically are not involved with, let's say, security. That's typically a service provided by the facility or an independent contractor. And you're correct, the scope of services can change from, again, show to show, city to city, and facility to facility. And that information is generally easily available and found online, either at the show's website or at our website for the particular show. So we want to make that, because the services vary from city to city and show to show, it can be confusing at times. And we want to make that as easily as understood as possible.
Well, I would make a comment aside here is that over time that I've interfaced with GES at various shows, the website's been very helpful. Once I've learned how to navigate it, because there's a lot of information, but the information required is there. And then when you're face to face, and I find that when I'm at a show and I'm asking questions or scheduling shipping or whatever that may be, I found that the contractors are very, very helpful, and I'm really glad to see that. So I guess another question would be, and I hear this from clients, is, man, I got charged for something I didn't expect to be. It was more than I thought. How can exhibitors keep from getting surprised by unexpected charges from a show services company, something such as yourself, or something, just so that they're prepared ahead of time, so they know those things are coming?
Sure. So, surprises typically are the last domino in the chain of events. And it's important to understand the various elements that can change and drive up costs. An example would be transportation. If an exhibitor's transportation is delayed and they miss their scheduled target time, that may cause freight to be unloaded on overtime, and that is not planned. And there may also be causes to other services like I&D and overhead rigging and electrical labor, then to shift to an overtime schedule. Exhibitors should understand the move in and move out schedule and how that schedule may impact costs. I've been in several situations where the exhibitor budgeted their costs from a previous year. It did not consider that the current year show was moving in and out on overtime. It was different than the previous year. And so there was a surprise, but that surprise of the budget really shouldn't have been a surprise if they had understood the current year's schedule. And surprises impact the overall customer experience. And at GES, we have rolled out several initiatives and enhancements to eliminate the variability of pricing and reduce surprises. No one likes surprises. I believe by simplifying our material handling, electrical and rigging prices, we can assist the exhibitor in better budgeting and reduce those surprises.
Yeah, I think that's a good point at the preparation. And you mentioned overtime. I mean, a lot of shows that moved in last year on Monday and Tuesday on straight time, as they call it, I guess, are this coming year maybe on a weekend, and that might affect things. Is that an accurate assessment?
You're spot on. I think I would really encourage people that are exhibiting specifically in 2021 to really understand the move-in schedule for this year, because as more and more events have shifted to the back part of the year, you're going to have compressed move-in times and you're going to have compressed move-out times, and the schedule that has previously been, for a particular show may be different this year. So, we kind of have a slang expression in our business, it's called Sally, same as last year. Don't expect anything to be Sally in 2021.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I think it comes down to planning and being aware of ahead of time what is going to happen. One last question I think that would be interesting to look into is that you talked about being a company that does work overseas as well. How does exhibiting in the U.S., and again, this could be another hour show, but how does exhibiting in the U.S. differ from exhibiting overseas when it comes to dealing with show service contractors?
Yeah, you're right. That could be a whole segment in itself. And if I could sum it up in, let's say, like 30 words or less, it's common for show organizers to appoint multiple contractors to provide services to the exhibitor. And then additional, it's in certain geographies, booths are stick built. They're built out on the show floor versus being fabricated and shipped to a facility. And both of these differences are accommodated because the move in and move out schedules are not nearly as compressed as they are in North America.
Interesting. Well, that's kind of an overhead view with a few details. I really wanted to get a good sense of what a lot of clients ask me about, and great to get it from the source. So, Jeff, I really appreciate your time. Jeff Quade, Executive Vice President of Exhibitions for GES. Thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and your audience.
Thanks again to Jeff Quade from GES for joining me on this week's edition of the Trade Show Guy Monday Morning Coffee. Going to wrap it up here, but first, this week's one good thing. My wife and I have been really enjoying the 3 seasons of Mr. Mercedes, which is, I believe, on Peacock. It's based on a Stephen King novel, and most Stephen King stuff is pretty good translated to the screen. Not all of it. Some of it's atrocious, but this is really good. And I haven't read the book, so I don't know if they did like one season on the book and then did another couple of seasons that would have extended from the book. I just don't know. I'll have to read the book sometime. But the series itself is really well done. It's kind of like one of these slow burn things. You know what's going on with the criminal as well as the people trying to catch the criminal and all the side plots, subplots that go along with that. So Mr. Mercedes, we're really enjoying it. We're about halfway through the last season of it, 3 seasons. So that's it for me on this week's Trade Show Guy Monday Morning Coffee. Thanks again for watching.